Hi, all. I'm Cullen Haynes, and welcome to Law Live. A special treat today, not broadcasting on Wednesday, but it is Monday because we've got a very special guest that's come in for a bonus episode, episode 40. Needs no introduction, has had 10 years in the legal industry, and absolutely blew everyone out of the water with her harrowing, true, authentic share on workplace bullying, and a very good friend of mine. And can you please make very welcome for the celebrity that is Stefanie Costi. How are you, Stefanie? What's happening?
First of all, I am not a celebrity.
Oh,
Second
come on.
of
You're too
all,
modest.
I'm well. It's a weekend. It's Monday, which is always better than Tuesday because you're coming off the back of a weekend. So, yeah,
Which is true.
I'm here and I'm so delighted to be here for you, with you, rather.
Oh, well, we've already got people tuning into the stream right now. And what I would say, it's 1:07 in Sydney, Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you've got any questions for this behemoth, please put them in the comments and I'll bring them up live and we can ask Stefanie what's going on. And if you're rewatching or re-listening to the stream, thank you so much for doing so. But what is happening in your circle of influence, Stefanie? What's been going on?
Okay, first of all, not a behemoth. Second of all, definitely don't have that circle of influence, but let's just go with that. What's happening in my world? I'm just working as a lawyer. I'm trying to help people with their workplace bullying experiences. And I am, while, in the midst of that, I'm also, trying to maintain my, marriage and my social life and all of that. So it's a lot, but you know what? Someone has to do it.
Absolutely. And congrats again. You came back from your honeymoon when I saw you in Canberra after I tried to get through the line of people getting your autograph. So it sounds like you had a great time.
I did. I went all throughout Europe and I had the most amazing time with my amazing husband. And now I'm back in Sydney and lucky the weather has kind of turned it on because, yeah, I wouldn't have come back unless it did.
Very good. Very good. And look, it's we got Latu saying it's great to say thank you. Compliments, Stefanie. So thank you, Latu, for joining the stream. Any other questions or comments, put them in there, guys. How would you describe your life so far right now using film titles there, Stefanie?
The bullied lawyer. I think that would be what my film title would be. I think, what else would it be? The ordinary girl. I don't actually think I'm anything extraordinary. That's it. I think it's definitely the bullied lawyer and it's definitely the ordinary girl.
There's nothing just ordinary about you, Stefanie. I want to broach what you talked about because offline we were saying you never set out to be the bullied lawyer. It's not like you woke up and said, oh, that's what I want to be and I want to speak about it, I want to write about it. You know, how did that come into your life and like what inspired you to write that very harrowing and touching article you put out with the Lawyers Weekly?
To be perfectly honest, I was bullied at work. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. My confidence plummeted. I felt like I should have, not been there anymore. And I ended up leaving. But I just found that even when I got another job, it meant that it trickled all into my other job. I had no confidence. I was hypervigilant. And I just questioned my place in this industry. And that's no place for a young lawyer because when you're a young lawyer, you're already dealing with, imposter syndrome. You're already questioning your worth in the profession. You're already a perfectionist because everyone that goes to law school is a perfectionist to some degree. So it really, really, really just attacked my self-esteem. And then I developed workplace PTSD and it just really hurt because why should you go to work and then have to go and pay a psychologist in order to deal with the issues that you got at work when really all you should be doing is going to work, making money and then going home? It doesn't really make any sense. So basically what happened with me was in July or thereabouts, I thought about writing about it because there was this voice within me which said, you can really help people through this. Now, I spoke to people close to me and they were just like, no, you should not speak about this stuff. You know, it's career limiting.
Sweep it under the rug, or,
Sweep it under the rug. Like, you don't want to be that poster child for bullying and harassment and all of that stuff in the legal profession. And to be honest, for a while there, I thought about doing just that, just going about practice and all of that type of stuff. And then I thought one day, no, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm just going to do it and see what happens. So I shared about it and I put it up on my LinkedIn story, and normally about 20 people read it. About 18 of them are my friends and family, because I come from a big fat Greek family. And I thought that would be done with it. No one would read it and it would go unnoticed. And then it ended up getting about 10,000 likes, and it got about 831 reposts. It had about 1,500 comments. I had hundreds. And when I say hundreds, almost about 900 people reach out to me and say, I've been bullied at work. Thank you for sharing your story. It makes me feel comfortable, all of that type of stuff. And it got to a point where I was just like, wow, okay, this is really, really quite, amazing that other people would actually trust me with their stories. And then after that, it was about 2-3 weeks before my honeymoon. And I thought, okay, I'm going to continue writing about this, because it is a problem in our industry. And I don't want anyone else to go through the exact same shit that I've been through. I don't want anyone else to have to go to work and be victimized or treated like garbage, or, on the Sunday have a tight pain across their stomach because they think, you know what, I have to go to work and it sucks.
Yeah.
And, I don't want anyone to feel like that. So I kept on writing, and I've kept on writing for about 2 months on it. And I have also received so many comments, emails from people that are going through the same thing. So I'm really passionate about empowering victims of workplace bullying to either speak up, or if they don't feel comfortable to vote with their feet, and empowering organizations to not harbor bullies within their ranks. I mean, we all know that they're rainmakers, but they're also making people suicidal. So I don't know about you, but I value life over profit. So yeah, that's kind of a bit about me. It's a long-winded ramble, but if there's anything that I can say to people that are watching this, if you're being bullied at work, you don't need to take it. And it doesn't make you less of a person. It's the bully that is less of a person, not you.
Yeah. Very, very powerful, and great insights as to what other people can do. Did you feel that the channels that are built in place in the industry right now, which is legal industry and very similar to the finance industry, are very good at the moment within firms for people to be able to speak out and raise the alarm and whatnot?
No, especially not in the legal industry. Absolutely not. The problem is that they say, okay, you can speak up, but the problem with doing that is the partners or the senior lawyers are the ones that are controlling the show. So you're not exactly going to speak up against someone that is paying your salary every single week. And you're worried because they've got these big explosive profiles that there's going to be reputational damage to you, that you are never going to be able to work in the industry because they will give you a really crappy reference. And there's no channel where you can speak up and, anonymously and safely and securely. I mean, some firms are now implementing apps where people can safely and anonymously, give their sentiments about the culture and the leadership and all of that type of stuff. But they're few and far between. A lot of firms are doing things like Are You Okay Day, but they're not actually practicing what they preach. And when I say practicing what they preach, the 364 days a year, they've got bullies that are making people's lives hell. They are having young lawyers there that are hating their lives through long work hours and being treated like absolute garbage. And they're not doing anything. So they're speaking this big, talk on Are You Okay Day. They feel like, okay, I'm going to do this because it's Are You Okay Day, and let's check in if we're okay. But let's be real. If you are a young lawyer and you are being bullied, you are not okay. And there's no way in hell that anyone in their right mind is going to raise their hand and say, I'm not okay, to a partner that is bullying, gaslighting them, and lowering their self-esteem every day. No one's going to have the guts to do that. And if they do, it's because they've had enough and they just want to leave, and they couldn't care if they're a part of the legal profession or not. So it's no. The legal industry needs more safe and secure platforms in order to do that. It's not okay what's happening. And the other problem is when people are speaking up, they're signing NDAs and confidential documents. That's the other problem. People are signing confidential documents, so they can't breathe a word about their bullying experience to anyone. So I've had a bunch of people reach out to me on LinkedIn and say, Steph, you know what? I was bullied, but I can't actually tell anybody about it or, raise awareness about it because I was told to sign an NDA and paid off. Like, that is what is happening in these firms. So when you ask me, are these firms doing much to mitigate it? I'm sure some are, and I know of some that I can rattle off that are, but the vast majority aren't, because money is money, and unfortunately these rainmakers bring in money, and that's all these firms care about. There's a conga line of graduate level solicitors that will come in and do these jobs, whereas the rainmakers are few and far between, and people are driven by money.
Oh, I just want to say that what you're saying is resonating with lots of people. Ladu's saying, I'm sorry to hear about what you went through, workplace bullying. I did in the nursing profession. Sorry that you went through that, Latu. And thanks for sharing and helping others with resilience. Chris Dobbs, a leading barrister, said, love your work, and we're dealing with the important issues, which is fantastic. And thank you, Chris. And Linda B says, so true. I wonder, because I thought this the other day, because, I'm a very self-actualized person. I want my team to do better, and there's ways to get people to do better. Do you think the people that are bullies think themselves that they're trying to make people feel better, or in their mind it's like, is it cognitive dissonance? Like I would, like, when I look back and hear about some of these stories, I'm like, why would someone ever act like that? But do they have the wool over their eyes? Like, what is going on in their mind, do you think, Stefanie, in the eyes of these bullies out there?
The way I tell people that are being bullied by these bullies is, these bullies are just traumatized children. So there's something that's happened in their life where they feel like they have to bully other people in order to get what they want and to succeed. And there's something that's happened in their life, regardless, or someone's threatened their confidence or made them feel like they need to be aggressive in order to get what they want or anything like that. These bullies have gone through experiences like that. And that's why they treat people like that. Because I can guarantee, and for someone like Perpetua Kish, who champions this whole kind lawyer
legend,
who champions this kind lawyer movement. Kind lawyers are kind lawyers for a reason. Bullies are bullies for a reason. And, for every bully that's out there, and that's why I feel like they can be reformed. And these companies, if they get in there with psychologists and really understand why these bullies are behaving like this, they can be reformed, because everyone is capable of change. And even, the people that are bullying people in the legal world, they are capable of change, but they first need to own and acknowledge their behavior. And that takes 100%. People standing up and not dealing with that type of stuff. And it's got nothing to do with, I know some people that are reform bullies, and there are reform bullies out there who didn't know that they were doing all of that stuff and that they were being perceived in that way. They didn't understand, if I gaslight someone, that's going to make me a bully. Or if I exclude them, that's going to make me a bully. Or, if I, get a case and it doesn't go the right way and I throw a file at a young lawyer, that's going to make me a bully. Or if I make a racist comment, that's going to make me a bully. A lot of these people don't know, or some of them actually on purpose are doing it, but some people are inadvertently doing this type of stuff. They're not, I want to be a bully. They're just inadvertently doing it because that's what they've learned, and that's what the kind of behavior that they have realized that is normal, when it's not really normal. It's ridiculous, but you know what I mean?
It's abnormal. Absolutely. And Ben Deverson, there were some great people at the Kind Lawyers. There were Sapphire Passes, Rose Inglis, yourself, Lauren Casamartis, and Ben Deverson from L'Organised had an instance where someone hired him, a managing partner of a firm. I'm not going to name names because I don't even know the name, but he said, help me make more money and make my team better. And he said he looked at the way he was working for a week, and he did that thing. That managing partner threw like a file at someone, and he goes, "Well, I got some tips for you, and it's just one: be kinder, and I think you'll do much better." He goes, "Oh, I thought you were going to give me some gems of wisdom. Oh, this is," and he didn't pay him in the end, and all this stuff. But it's just so simple, right? Like, treat people nicely, and you might get more out of them when they come to work. They might come enriched and enlivened and enthusiastic, not that Sunday evening feeling in the pit of your stomach. I've had it in previous roles. It's not a good feeling to have, and not wanting to come into work on that Monday.
And that's where I was at. I had this tight feeling across my stomach. Like I, couldn't go to the bathroom properly. It was crap. And that was because I was so stressed and I was so worried. Oh my God, what's going to happen? How am I going to walk on these eggshells and not cause a ruckus and things like that? But it's not normal. And anyone that's watching this, or anybody that watches it later or whatever, if they think that it's not normal for you to feel bullied, and if you feel that tight feeling in your stomach, or if you feel that feeling in your gut that feels like, oh my God, how am I going to go into work? Or if you're having a panic attack on the way to work, that is not normal, my friend. That, my friend, is a sign that you should get the hell out of there.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're putting those out there, because it's important that people know what they're feeling. What should people be watching for and realize that this is not normal behavior that if they're receiving? You talked about gaslighting, obviously physical abuse with throwing. What other things should be put in that box of bullying that is just not called for when it's looked upon in aggregate?
It's definitely the verbal abuse. For example, I had a colleague that was victimized because of his Catholic faith. That's not okay. I'm talking the physical stuff, which is what I said, throwing the files, hurling the phones, doing all of that type of stuff. The hazing, the putting your hands on another person, not okay. The next thing is the silent tactics of bullying. And when I say silent tactics, I'm talking the gaslighting, distorting your reality and making you feel like, oh my God, I don't know what's truth and what's fiction. I'm talking undermining. So people saying, oh yeah, all the girls can't come to lunch with the boys. I'm talking, the exclusion. I'm talking all the silent tactics that are bullying, but not overt bullying. And when I say that's probably the worst kind, when people are doing things behind your back or doing things in a really, think of it like a snake, right? They're insidious and they walk it snake through the grass. That is what the silent tactics of bullying are. The third thing that I would probably say is the physical abuse and the harassment. There's sexual harassment. There's discrimination based on your sexual orientation. There's a few things with that. But again, and I want to drum this information home, none of it is okay. And even if it's characterized as a joke, being a bully and then dressing it up like it's a joke is absolute bullshit. It's not a joke when you're making someone feel like crap. That is not a joke. And you can dress it up however you want, but to the bullies of the legal profession, we all know that you're actually being serious. Cullen, I can't hear you. Are you on mute? Oh no, I can't hear you.
That's always good when the sound stops working, huh?
It reminds me of what COVID was like.
Yes. You're on mute. What? It's crazy. It's crazy. But why do you think it's a good question? Why do you think it's still prevalent in the industry right now? Why haven't we stamped out bullying altogether? This is 21st century. Why are we still going through this stuff?
Law is an incredibly hierarchical profession. And unfortunately, some firms, not all firms, because there are great ones out there that I can rattle off, some firms, they prioritize money over their people. And that is why bullying is still happening. Because if firms started to prioritize people over money,
yes,
bullying wouldn't be around anymore. They would realize that, and firms should realize that their people are key to making money, right? So if you focus on your people and you focus on if you're promoting a good culture, first of all, it costs money to replace people. So if people are leaving your firm, it costs you a lot of money to replace them.
Correct.
And
Correct.
like, so all that profit that bully is bringing in for you, you're just expending it on hiring someone else. And it takes you like 3 to 6 months in order for them to be actually productive humans in your workplace. So I'm sorry, you can prioritize your money all you want, but at the end of the day, if that's going outside the door because you've got a bully hanging around, you're not really going to be making money, are you?
It's all going to come in one way and go out the other way, which is true.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
No, it's good. It's good points you're making. And Latu comes in and says, look, it's a cynical problem. They pass on the help and they feel powerful elsewhere. And Latu also has a friend in Brisbane who's a lawyer. Would love to chat with you, Stefanie. And you'll be able to connect.
My door
Where
is
are you
always
hanging out
open.
most? LinkedIn? Is that where you advise people to get in touch?
Yeah, just send me a LinkedIn message. I speak to a bunch of people. I don't get paid for any of this work. All I want to do is make our legal profession brighter and more psychologically safe for everybody. And, I respond to people from the kindness of my heart. It's got nothing to do with gain or anything like that. It's just making our profession more psychologically safe.
No, it's very, very, very well said. And you're right. You don't get paid for this, so that you're putting yourself out there. You're risking a lot now, putting yourself out here. So thank you so much, Stefanie. Is there any passion projects that you'd like to share that you're working on, or anything you'd like to see change in law right now?
To be honest, a big passion project is this stuff that I'm talking about right now. I want to eliminate workplace bullying from the legal profession and from professions, not just the legal profession. I want, because let's be real, workplace bullying happens in every single industry. I've had people from the finance industry come out to me. I've had people from the tech industry. I've had people in media. It's not just because I'm a lawyer and that's what my experience is. It's not the same as what other people's experiences are. And workplace bullying is through every single industry. I'm just using my experience in the legal profession to show people that it is actually happening at work. But my passion project is just to go and empower as many victims of workplace bullying to speak up or vote with their feet, and to go into as many many organizations and tell people what bullying looks like. Share my story so bullies are kind of on notice that they can't act like that anymore. And to kind of go in there and tell leaders how to spot it and how to eradicate it, because no one should have to go to work and have to go pay a psychologist. It's just not okay. And
that makes no sense.
Yeah, life is hard. Life is hard enough. Like, you don't want to go to work and deal with this type of shit every single day. Like, you don't want to have to go home to your family and be like, oh yeah, my boss is a complete and utter blockhead and he treats me like crap, but I've got to stay here because my mortgage needs to be paid. Like, you don't want to do that stuff.
Definitely not.
Yeah, so you can tell how passionate I am, but that is my passion project. And every article that I write and every bit of speaking that I do and every person that I speak to on LinkedIn and otherwise about this, I do it because I'm passionate about it. I do it because I have to admit, it's unlocked a fire in me, and it's made me feel like just because others are telling you not to say something about something that you're passionate about, don't listen, because at the end of the day, that is where your true purpose is, and that's where your true calling is. And I feel like, and my mission has always been to help people through my experience, and that's what I intend to do. I just feel like it's an area where we can evoke a lot of change, and we can make sure that people feel happier and people are healthier, and work is no longer a prison, but work can be a springboard to their success.
I love what you're saying there, and I'm endeared by it. And I think in terms of what you said about people actually tuning into that, and I think they should trust their gut and actually not listen to other people. And I've been like, if I took the advice of anyone else that told me things, I wouldn't be here right now. And funnily enough, I got this piece of advice, and it's a good piece of advice. They said, it was one of my mentors before I left Macquarie. They said, Cullen, don't take advice on the journey from people that have never left home. Like, people will give you all this advice. You shouldn't do this. You should do this, blah, blah, blah. But when you ask them, oh, yeah, have you become a race car driver before? Or have you actually become a professional speaker before? They're like, no. It was like, well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But like take it with a bar of salt, you know? Like, so
Absolutely.
true.
Because unless someone's jumped off the cliff that you have, they don't share your experience. So how can they advise you on it? And I don't know if anybody listening to this call, I mean, listening to anything that we're saying or whatever, has heard of Steve Harvey, but he did a jump. He did a seminar, well, a talk called Jump. And he always says that when you go after your calling, the parachute isn't going to open straight away. You're going to be bleeding pretty bad when you jump off a cliff, right? But eventually, if you tune into your gift, if you really go after it, that's where your gift is. You know, he says in one of his talks, you know, I have a guy that used to tell me, I'm going to get up and I'm going to mow Miss Morris's grass every day. And everyone used to laugh at him. Why would you want to cut grass for a living? That guy's got a landscaping company called worth $8 million. So if that's anything to go by, if you have a passion, if you feel like you can help others, if you feel like you can draw better than anybody else, cut hair, color hair, make money for people, do whatever, go after it, because you, my friends, can be unlocking the life that you're always meant to live, but you're existing in what you're doing at the moment.
I really am picking up what you're putting down. It reminds me of what Brene Brown said. If you're not in the arena getting your butt kicked, then I'm not interested in your feedback. Brene Brown. Everyone.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Heroes.
So true. And final question before we get into bonus questions, Stefanie. I can't believe it's already been 26 minutes. My goodness. How would you like to be remembered when it's all said and done?
As the person that is the encourager, as the person who believes in others and makes them feel like humans again. And I want to be that person that blazes the trail for someone else so they can have an easier life. And that's what all this workplace bullying is about. This is not about me getting clout or accolades or money or whatever. This is about helping as many people around the world be safer at work so they can go on and achieve beautiful things and achieve their potential. That's how I want to be remembered. I want to be that kind person that they reach out to on LinkedIn because they know that I'm going to be this safe place, and they know that, you know, I'm going to be the voice for them if they don't feel like their voice box is working, so to speak.
I love that. And you're already doing that. And it's great to be able to share this time with you and get your message out multiple platforms. And I know that the people tuned in and the people listening would really get a lot from what you actually share with us. So thank you so much for your candor and being so honest there, Stefanie. It's fantastic. That's
my pleasure. To be on this is an honor and it's a privilege. And what you do, Cullen, is you make people feel seen. And, you know, this workplace bullying thing, as I said, is a passion for me, but to have people like you and to have others in the industry getting behind me and getting behind what I have to say on it really means a lot, because the more people that hear this and the more people we reach, the more people are going to feel happy, and the more people are going to feel psychologically safe, and the more people are going to be empowered not to deal with this type of rubbish anymore. No, enough is enough, indeed. Absolutely. Thank you so much again there, Stefanie. And you can be reached on LinkedIn, and that's like, feel free, connect with Stefanie. She's obviously posting quite a lot. You also obviously do a few articles on news.com and AFR. So you'll be everywhere. You're omnipresent. Okay, I'm omnipresent, but if anybody says that I'm a celebrity, which I do, again, yourself included, Mr. Haynes, you know what? I'll come for you. You know where I live. Well, you know where I work. That's the main thing. Absolutely right. But there we go. Chris Dobbs has joined in and says, I believe the bullying comes from structural problems. What we need to do is fix the system. It's so true. And I asked, are you picking up what I'm putting down? And Chris said,
I'm smoking what you were rolling. So thank you so much, Chris. That's awesome. We don't advocate smoking or vaping, but as long as you're resonating with what Stefanie is talking about and you share that message, I think we've done what we wanted to achieve with our little chat today, Stefanie.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you once again. We'll bring you back for some bonus questions in a moment, but thank you once again, Stefanie. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And if you are a legend of law or know someone who is that would like to chat about things like this or other important issues or projects they're working on, feel free to DM me on LinkedIn. We come out every Wednesday. Today's not Wednesday. It's a bonus episode. But nonetheless, thanks for tuning in to Law Live, everyone. Take care. Bringing you back, Stefanie, if you could explain what you do in life, in law, as a writer, as a speaker to a 6-year-old, how would you do that? 6-year-old child.
I make people feel safe.
Nice and easy. You make me feel safe. My goodness.
I mean, I'm a family lawyer. And I'm also a speaker and I'm also a journalist. So, yeah, that's kind of it all in a nutshell.
Very good. But for making people feel safe and heard and able to actually have that forum and that dialogue, I think is very important. So I think that's nice and easy to understand. And this is an interesting one. This is like a physics question. If there was such thing as a time machine, you could go back and go and visit yourself at any age. What age would you be? And what advice would you give your younger self?
I was bullied in high school and I absolutely hated it. And the advice that I give to that girl back in high school would be, don't worry. One day you're going to use all of this and make a meal out of it. And every tear that you cry, every time you feel excluded, every time you feel like no one hears you, one day you're actually going to be the voice for people. And that makes me really emotional because that was a really difficult time in my life. And I was bullied at work. So it feels like I owe it to my 16-year-old self to be the voice for others.
Amazing. If only she could watch this video now and she'd have all the confidence in the world going into a career in law. And it's very special. Thank you so much for sharing that, Stefanie. God,
you got me teary. Cullen!
That's all right. I've got some virtual tissues here somewhere. Let me send them your way. That's okay. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you for joining. And thanks most of all to you, Stefanie, and coming and chatting and putting yourself out there today.
Thanks, Cullen. I appreciate that very much. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure. Happy Monday, everyone.